All right, 844-766-6607, Hickson has a hotline. Big article in the Advocate the other day, a big feud between the governor and the Caddo Sheriff Steve Prator. We've got Sheriff Prator on with us right now. Steve Prator. Steve, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing fine, Moon. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. I just wanted to get to the bottom of it. You know, when I read a newspaper article, my first thing is it fake news? Are they telling us the truth? And I know you and the governor been going back and forth. I think your wife, there's an appointment to the Red River Waterway Commission that the governor denied. I guess he denied it. A lot of people feel like he denied that because of your position on prison reform. And by the way, I think y'all on the right mark. But talk a little bit about what happened here, because you know, they're claiming you did something wrong and the way it filled out the process. But talk a little bit about what's going on.
Well, it's not that complicated. I was simply against some of the parts of the reinvestment, the Reinvestment Act, the 10 acts. And so the governor, in an effort to punish me for having said something against it, denied this appointment to the Red River Waterway Commission. But let me just explain for just a second.
Yes,
now,
sir.
it's not a deal where a sheriff he wants to get his wife on something. I did not know that she had applied for it. Because of the fact that she's been president of the Caddo Levy Board for some 8 or 10 years. She led the charge and didn't roll forward taxes of the levy board. She was able to convince everyone to roll them completely off because of the fund balance of the levy district. She led that charge several years ago. She's been to every seminar you can imagine. In other words, I don't even know what all she does. She goes to everything involving levy boards in the Red River. She's been very passionate about it, especially since we lost our home and a lot of money. And so she's not only educated about it, she's been involved in it for a lot of years. It's not a paid position. I didn't have anything to do with it, and she's passionate about it. So she's the logical choice from Caddo Parish. All 3 of the nominating boards that the governor has to choose from, their nominations, all 3 nominated her to serve, and only her. She was the only one that was recommended. The governor's saying that it didn't get in time. We have the registered letters to where all 3 bodies that have to nominate the person that the governor has to select from, the law says that, all 3 nominated her within just a few days of the time that they were notified that there was a vacancy. In other words, the Red River Waterway Commission sent out letters to all 3 of the bodies and said there's a vacancy, nominate someone by registered letter. All 3 did. Mm-hmm. One of them did it in 7 days, sent it to the governor in 7 or 8 days. One did it in 11 days, and the Caddo Parish Commission had to pass their resolution and had to wait 2 meetings or whatever, and so theirs was within 29 days they passed it. And the governor's saying that it didn't get there in time, and it took him 5 months to decide that.
Wow. So in other words, you got there within the 30-day window, and then the governor 5 months later decides, politically I don't like the sheriff, so I'm not going to allow it to happen. Because that's what it looks like. And I'll be honest with you, that's what it reads like.
We got the paperwork and everything else, and there's no reason. It's just silly that the governor who served in the legislature that passed laws, who's a trial lawyer, so he should know something about laws, that he didn't follow the law in this case.
That's what it seems like to me when I read it. I said, boy, this is pretty interesting because of the sheriff's stand. I'm going to get to that in just a second, dealing with this prison reform or criminal justice reinvestment act or whatever you want to call it. Well, we've already seen people murder people coming out of prisons. I knew it was political. It became a political firestorm. And the fact that, the governor runs around as the honor code guy, there's no honor to this. And that's what I said. There's really no honor in politics. Not much honor anyway. But there's no honor code. This is strictly politics. They ought to call it what it is.
Right, you ought to call it what it is, and he even told a state senator, who the state senator's the one that called me and said that your wife is not going to get that appointment because the governor doesn't like the way that you've been talking about him in the justice reinvestment.
Well, I don't really think you talked about him as much as you talked about the Criminal Justice Reinvestment Act, that you had a lot of concerns. And this is what I don't.
Never anything personal about the governor. I'm just saying that the reinvestment, people don't know. People are led to believe that it's an early release program by a few days of a few prisoners that all they were in for anyway was just smoking marijuana. Mm-hmm. And that is so far off base of the 10 acts that are involved in this. And I've tried to get people to go to the Department of Corrections website and to read the practitioner's guide. And it's got the charts in there showing all of the sentences that were reduced. It's got the probations being reduced, the amount of restitution being reduced. It's the criminal justice system needs reform. It needs reform at the front end to where people are charged appropriately, where they don't plea bargain down to next to nothing, where they don't get reduced sentences, and where they get the sentence they actually have to serve, where the poor victims, they aren't misled thinking somebody's going to serve 10 years for burglarizing their house, and in fact, they'd be lucky to serve 10 months. Yeah,
and by the way, we're talking to Steve Prator, who's a sheriff of Caddo Parish. Steve, you're correct about that, and that's what I'm getting a kick out of, the press defending the governor and the criminal act. I saw one sheriff jump up and say, this ought to be set for the whole country. We've had 2 people come out and murder people. Now, to those families, I wonder how they feel about the Criminal Reform Investment Act. I bet they don't feel real good, but since people in the press didn't have a family member killed, or people in politics didn't have a family member killed, they don't make a big deal about it. But it is a big deal.
Well, we all end up being victims of some sort, or touched. Our families are touched by them. Just this last week, I had a pier that was burglarized, and they stole about $2,000 worth of fishing gear off my pier. We made a case, chased the guy yesterday, ended up catching him. A dog bit him, put him in jail. I was counting. He's got 12 pages of arrest. 23 different times he's been arrested for numerous charges on a lot of the times. There's over 40 victims of the different crimes that he's committed. And this, as much as 11 months ago, or 14 months ago, he was out. He was charged with felony possession of stolen goods. And he's already out and burglarizing my house. And I just don't understand how people can say that we need to do something at the back end. Something needs to be done at the front end of the criminal justice system.
Well, I think here's what bothers me. You disagree with a liberal like the governor, okay? And when you disagree with anybody on the left, they all take it out on people. What's wrong with a disagreement? What's wrong with you talking about what you're talking about on the front side? Okay, what is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. You're trying to have an honest, upfront discussion. I believe this whole criminal, quote, reinvestment stuff, I believe it's all politics. What I think you're trying to do, Sheriff Prator, is you're trying to say, look, hold up. That's fine. I want the same thing y'all want. Let's do it in a smart way. Let's do it in a way where people are not going to get out and go out there and kill somebody like we've had 2 of them do. And but then they call you names, and you're the right-wing nut, and you're the crazy one. And all you saying is, look, what we did was wrong. Let's come back and redo this. And they go, no. I heard your wife wants something that I can control, so I'm going to kick her out 5 months after the fact. 5 months after the fact.
And we're talking about the president of the Caddo Parish Levy Board. We're talking about somebody that's very, very qualified, regardless of the fact that I am the sheriff. It doesn't make any difference. She's so qualified to do this. And then to take it out on her, on somebody's family, because you're not happy because I criticized you. And, it hurts everybody in Caddo Parish in North Louisiana, because Caddo Parish, we contribute 44% of the money to the Red River Waterway Commission and have 2 out of 12 votes. And 44%. You put Bossier in there, and it's well over 60% and we have 3 votes out of, I believe, 11 members. 3 out of 11 members are the votes we have up here in the north. Now, he eliminated one of our votes by doing this. And so it is just, it's really hard to believe that he can, that the governor who is that familiar with the law, being a trial lawyer, can just do this. I just don't think you can, and I don't know what the next step will be, but I just don't think you can do this.
Yeah, by the way, they approved everybody but your wife, correct?
Well, yeah, there was only one vacancy. There was only one vacancy, and the vacancy, as soon as they were notified there was a vacancy, all three of the boards nominated her. And what he did was he moved an at-large position that was an at-large Caddo position. He moved that, even though the term wasn't up, moved that into the Caddo spot, and then put a man from Rapides Parish into that at-large position. So he jockeyed things around.
Sure.
And put an attorney into the Caddo spot, even though they weren't the ones that the boards had recommended, which the law says he's got to choose from the three recommended.
Yeah. Wow.
And so he didn't. He gerrymandered things around, put the lawyer in there as the representing Caddo, and then eliminated an at-large that was Caddo's and put the Rapides person in there, so eliminated one of the votes too.
Wow. Well, I'm not surprised. I've watched the governor work, and this is all politics. The criminal justice was politics. It was not done right. Nobody wants to admit that. But I think people have a right, like yourself, to say, hold up just a second. I'm involved in this every day. What we're doing is wrong. There are the political sheriffs that all get behind the governor. But the bottom line is you have a right. This is America. You have a right to voice your opinion and not be held responsible. I mean, when I say responsible, not be held against you because you disagree with somebody that sits at the top called the governor. Just not right. All right.
And the justice reinvestment money, out of all the millions of dollars, 10% goes back to victims programs, victims help, and 30% goes back into the general fund. Now, tell me that's on the Department of Corrections' own literature in this book. Mm-hmm. 10% goes to victims groups, 30% goes to the general fund. Wow.
All righty, Sheriff. Thank you so much. God bless.
All
Thanks
right,
for the story.
Sir.
I wanted to talk to you about it, and I appreciate you being very, very honest and upfront with us.
Yes, sir.
All right, take a break. Be back. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go anywhere. By the way, in Shreveport tomorrow, Brandon, Dave Tack, Custom Arms and Ammo is where we're going to be tomorrow. So we're going to be it's going to be a lot of fun. We talk a little guns tomorrow, no doubt about it. All right, God bless. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. By the way, Senator John Kennedy will be with us tomorrow. And, Brandon, I got to get the time for you. We'll be at Dave Tack Customs Arm location tomorrow at in Bossier City in conjunction with our good friends at Kiel. So we'll be there tomorrow broadcasting. We'll be talking a little bit about guns and Second Amendment and things of that. You're more than welcome to be part of the program. Senator Kennedy will join us for about 20, 30 minutes as well. So we'll be hot and rolling tomorrow when we get a chance to. All righty. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. And I told y'all that see, the governor, honor code, all that stuff's out the window. This sheriff right here, it's okay for him and Jeff Landry and other people to speak out against what happened with criminal justice reform. I personally think criminal justice reform needs to be done, no doubt about it. But they're letting people out that should never be let out. I mean, if you let somebody out, and they've let two out that we know for a fact have went out there and murdered people. Now, if it didn't affect your family, you're cool with it. Oh, you're like Jim Beam. He's cool with it. His family member wasn't killed. Okay? His family member wasn't killed, so Jim don't care. As long as his family member's not killed. So there's a better way to do it. And I think what they did was Herb did something and ran it because it's about politics and re-election and trying to please your base. And that's all Bel Edwards is doing, trying to please his base. He's trying to buy his base with all the taxes. And he's trying to please his base with the criminal justice reform. But I guarantee you there was a black gentleman and there was a family that were very upset that they let someone out that had hurt their family. They killed a family member. And by the way, shot a 15-year-old too. But that's okay. It was only one, Moon. But what happened to if we can only save one person? Remember that, Brandon? Every time we come up with an argument, we can only save one. We get rid of guns. We can just save that one person.
And go say it was only one person to that family. Go tell them that to
Brandon,
their face.
Let me tell you,
that's such an insult.
Let me ask you a question. They had a 15-year-old daughter that was shot, that she was going to be okay. Would you be forget the murder. We didn't understand it. But if you had a 15-year-old daughter that was shot by somebody they let out of prison early, would you be just as upset?
I'd be upset.
Be livid.
I'd be livid, yep.
But they keep rallying around the governor. Jim Beam did it again today, going after the Republicans and protecting who? Julie Stokes. Why are they protecting Julie? Because she works so close with Governor Edwards in getting taxes passed. And it's not just, they keep saying people, and Beam is probably becoming the worst liar and hypocrite in the whole state when it comes to media. Beam keeps bringing up, but I only like disappointed in Stokes from one tax vote. Beam, I was talking about her way before the tax vote. She was dogging Republicans and everything else. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what Jim Beam says. There's one tax vote. It's not one tax vote. There's a lot of tax votes. And it's also working behind the scenes with Edwards and then down on Republicans, conservatives. The Beam doesn't have you people that read that and believe in Jim Beam, you might have some mental issues. Because he does. I mean, it's just ridiculous what he writes. Anyway, we get to all that. We got some great emails and things of that nature. Also, something from Fox as well. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, you all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice. By the way, in conjunction with our good friends at Kiel and Shreveport, Louisiana, Shreveport, Bossier, would be a DAF TAC Custom Arms and Ammo tomorrow on location from 9 till 11. Hope you can come by and visit with us. Going to have a lot of fun and meet some new guys. And we'll talk a little bit about everything. John Kennedy is going to join us. May have a few of the elected officials stop by as well. So hopefully you can come by and say hi to us. It'll be a lot of fun. And also talking issues of the day with people who have to deal with it on a daily basis. Let me tell you what I mean. There's a burger place called In-N-Out Burgers. Okay. It's in California. And apparently they're kicking butt and taking names. Okay. Doing very, very well. People like them. People are going in and out. The place is growing. But the CEO donated money to the California Republican Party. They donated $30,000 last year, $50,000 this year to Californians for Job and Strong Economy Political Action Committee that supports business-friendly Democratic candidates. Now, this place is booming and growing. They got operating 6 western states: Arizona, California, Nevada, Oregon, Texas, Utah. Trying to go to Colorado. Since 1948, family owned. And guess what, Brandon? Since they gave money to the Republican Party, California Republican Party, the liberals are going nuts. They're going nuts. They're going after them. They want to boycott on just a hamburger place that's minding its own business. They can give money to somebody like that if they want to. And they give the Democrat causes as well. But, California Democratic Party chairman called for an in-out boycott, saying tens of thousands of dollars donated to the California Republican Party. Let Trump and the cronies support these creeps, perhaps animal style. Now, remember what happened with Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A's CEO, they asked him a simple question about marriage, and he said he supports traditional marriage, which is the only marriage, a man and a woman. I don't care what the states, states recognize killing babies too. And they went nuts. They went nuts on Chick-fil-A and pounded on Chick-fil-A, and in Chick-fil-A, the people rallied behind Chick-fil-A. The people rallied behind Chick-fil-A by supporting them. Tell you what, Brandon, you can go to a lot of restaurants a lot of restaurants. And you have to wait in line. Chick-fil-A is one of them. I mean, I can't believe the lines at breakfast and lunch every day.
The line is like twice, 3 times as long as other places, and they still get you in quicker.
Well, you know what, though? That's one thing I said about them. They're not a sponsor of the program, but I'm just saying what they do now, Brandon, if you go, my kids love eating there. And when you go, like at lunch, there's 2 people. You're not going to the drive-up window anymore. Yeah. They put 2 people out there going to the cars. What do you want?
Yeah. Wow.
And then when you drive up, you say Moon. They may tell you Moon at $7.86, whatever, and you pay and you go get it. And they roll people through there.
Yeah, they do.
And so once again, the left nutting up on a business that they don't want you to have a voice. And this is what the left's doing. We can't have a disagreement and life goes on. They want you to believe in what they say and what they do, or you're dead meat. I mean, you're dead meat, and this is what's happening in the country. We disagree, and we don't go on the street and protest. We're not punching people in the head, knocking MAGA caps off people's head, Obama hats off people's head. I saw an Obama sticker the other day. I thought, wow, that's all I did. I didn't go, let me go smash the window of that car for the nut who supported the Marxist Obama. I didn't think that. I thought, man, wow. People really thought that guy was a good president. I can't believe it. I mean, it blows my, but that's it. That's it. I didn't go find out who the person was. These people are nutting up. Let's go after the hamburger chain because they gave money to the Republican Party, and I just named a Democrat thing that they gave money to. 30 last year and 50 this year to California for Jobs and Strong Economy, political action committee that supports business-friendly Democratic candidates. You can't support Republicans or conservatives or Christians or you're out. You can't support traditional marriage between a man and a woman, which is natural. It's the way God intended it. Oh, it's a right-wing nut. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable that so the difference is the left has hate. They have no guidance system. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in Jesus. Most of them don't. They don't believe in a right and wrong. They don't. They believe in government and man's going to take you to the prosperity. Nobody's ever going to take you to prosperity. If you don't believe me, go look in inner cities. They filled up with people that think the Democrats are going to take them to prosperity. They never get to leave the little bitty places that they live in. And they're never going to. Ever. One gets out here and there, but most of them are never leaving because they're voting for Democrats who keep promising them all this prosperity that's never coming their way. They're waiting for their ship to come in. The ship hasn't even been built. They don't even have a design on their ship. But the Democrats keep telling them, look at those people over there as they take our culture and our country down to size. By the way, socialism failing everywhere has been tried. I read another story. I even printed it. Another place just going to hell in a handbasket. Argentina plunging. Just going to hell in a handbasket. All about socialism. Let's go to phone lines. Go to Warren in Milton, Louisiana. Warren, how you doing?
Hey, Moon, how's it going? You keep talking about, all these situations, especially like with the FBI and all that with Trump, and the common denominator in all these messes is lawyers. And I think we're going to have to do some lawyer reform, before we do some judicial reform. The first thing we got to do is get them cleaned up, because when you take a lawyer and you mix that and take a lawyer and a politician and put them together, you end up with a snake, a two-headed pit viper.
Well, but you can't throw all lawyers on the boat. But they are political lawyers. They are lawyers.
No, not all of them. But
no, you can't. Hey, you may need one day. You may need one day. I know where you're going though. What you're talking about is the political lawyers, the guys that get in there and they jost all the stuff around, or we don't even know what's happening. I know what you mean.
Exactly. And they're making messes. They're making messes for our country.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not just them. It's the elected officials in general. They owe this country an apology for what they've done to our school systems, what they did to our culture, what they've done to our, you can name it, infrastructure, everything that they keep saying. The socialism they're trying to put here as well. It's phenomenal. They owe us an apology what they've done to this country, no doubt.
Exactly. Thank you, Moon.
I appreciate the call. Bossier City, we go Bossier, Shreveport, Bossier. Go to Bo. Bo, how you doing?
Man, doing good, Moon. How are you?
I am doing superb, man. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, calling to comment on your just the liberal organization that came out against In-N-Out Burger. Moon, when are these people going to learn?
Well, hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop. It's the Democrat Party that came out. It was the head of the California Democrat Party that came out against them.
Yeah, well, exactly. And in every situation, in a Chick-fil-A situation, that actually boosted Chick-fil-A's sales and continues to do that to these days. And it's working in the opposite effect, like Dick's Sporting Goods came out against gun control, and they just had their CEO come out this week and say that, their sales are plummeting and they're down. When are they going to learn that the American people is going to stand for conservative values?
Well, you know what? You can even look at Trump as well. The continuing pounding of Donald Trump, the lies, what CNN and some of these people are doing, his numbers are holding around 50%. And just think if they weren't slamming him every day, he'd probably be 56, 58% right now. They're going to continue to slam him on. And you're right. The reverse effect, Chick-fil-A, I'm sure they're making lots of profit. They don't even open on Sundays, and they're making lots of profit.
Absolutely.
So you're right about it.
Good work, Moon.
All right, Bo, thanks. Appreciate the call. All right, quick break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're just cranking up. An hour to go. Love to hear from you. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Don't forget, we'll be at Dive Tac Custom Arms and Ammo tomorrow. And that is in Bossier City. We'll be broadcasting in 2 hours. Love for you to come by and visit with us. It's going to be a lot of fun with those guys and maybe ladies. And so come on by and have some fun with us. We would love to be able to see you and have a good time with you as well. So anyway, we'll be there tomorrow in conjunction with our good friends at Keel and Town Square Media in Shreveport. All righty, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Don't forget if you want to go fishing too. Now's the time to book with Captain Norman. It's going to get cool. When it gets cool, the specs are going to start running. He's catching a lot of redfish right now. aspeccharters.com. aspeccharters.com is the number that you need to know. Captain Norman will get you taken care of. He'll put you on the fish. You're going to be glad you went with Captain Norman. What a great guy. And the fishing is good right now. It's hot, but it's good. 337-884-0656. Real simple. 337-884-0656. People that want to go have a good time with the Cap, he is always ready to serve you. John in Abbeville, we'll start with you in this second hour. John, how you doing?
I'm good, Moon. How you doing, man?
Done fine, sir. Good to hear from you.
Listen, the whole In-N-Out thing, there's a lot more to this. What Chick-fil-A is to chicken, In-N-Out is to burgers. Their burgers are unbelievable.
By the way, let me stop you. I looked at the stuff online. They look really good. They look like they really know what they're doing, man.
Look, let me tell you, they're unreal. I lived out there. I worked in television and film for 16 years.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's a lot more than this. At the bottom of their little French fry boats and at the bottom of their drink cups, there are Bible scriptures. They're a Christian-owned family business. And
you told me a lot right now. You just told me a lot of what's going on because the left hates Christians.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
Right. Well, on pretty much any night of the week, but especially on Friday, Saturday, Sundays, it's like Chick-fil-A. The lines to go through the drive-thru at In-N-Out Burgers all across Los Angeles are out the parking lot and down the block.
Wow.
What's even funnier is that, when I would be on a television show, if we were working late, they would bring the In-N-Out burger truck to the location. Wow. The studio would pay for it. Wow. Hollywood loves In-N-Out burgers. So all these little liberal actors and actresses are not going to get their In-N-Out burgers if they're going to do the boycott. But I think it's more than just the donation. They're going after them because they hate them because they're a Christian company. When you walk in the door, you have young people that greet you with respect. They're based upon service. Their restaurants are spectacularly clean. Their food, nothing is frozen. It's all fresh. But they're a Christian company, Moon. And I think this is just an excuse to go after them just like the people went after Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and by the way, if you read Brandon, you can go to Drudge Report, slide on the left side, you can see it. It looked clean. It's almost the same. It's the same color as McDonald's, except it's a totally different deal. And I read that because they talked about Chick-fil-A in the article, and they talked about and this is what I like cult. Listen to this. This was in the article now. Like cult, C-U-L-T, chain Chick-fil-A. How is Chick-fil-A a cult? Chick-fil-A is serving great food, great chicken. People love it. They love going in there. They love the food. They're a cult because the guy's a Christian owner. They're making it sound like if you're a Christian in the country, you're a bad person. But if you love Satan, if you love beating up people and hurting people and destroying people, hey, we love you. It's unbelievable.
Well, Moon, here's the thing, man. I was on television. I was a series regular on 3 different shows. I guest starred on just about every show on TV for 16 years. I was in the top 3% of actors in the business, and I walked away because I did not want to raise my children out there. I felt like I was living in a foreign country. Mm-hmm. There's a story that I tell people about an actress that I met on set when we were doing our rehearsal that I can't say over the air about the shirt she was wearing.
Yeah.
And I had to, for 16 years, keep quiet about my Christian faith and my political beliefs because I would have been blackballed. That whole we're tolerant stuff, of course, everybody knows it. I lived it for 16 years. They're the most intolerant people you will ever meet in your life. But as far as In-N-Out goes, they have a very basic menu. It's just hamburger, cheeseburger, fries, and shakes. But their deal is they have a secret menu. So you have to, it's kind of like this little deal when you get in the In-N-Out burger thing that you know their secret menu. But the problem is that, like I said, the bottom of every French fry boat, the bottom of every drink cup, there'll be the John 3:16 or Philippians 4:14 or
maybe they would feel better if they at the bottom of the boat they had men dressed up like women and women dressed up like men. Maybe if we had that, then this wouldn't be a problem. And if they gave money to Democrats, then it wouldn't be as big a problem because listen, the left doesn't want fairness. They don't want free speech. They don't want freedom. They want you believe like us, and you're part of us. If you don't believe like us, then you're racist, homophobe. It's stupidity going on in this country right now, and the left is promoting this. How people vote for the left, I do not understand. With somebody with a brain and a heart and a soul can vote for that.
I don't want to get too preachy on it, but it's like the scripture says in the last days, good will become evil, and evil will become good.
Bingo.
Everything is flipped upside down, Moon.
You know what's sad?
Everything that is right and true and patriotic and American and godly and the morals and values that we were raised with as children now are laughed at and mocked as extreme.
Yep.
And the things that are truly extreme, those are good things, like the deal with the library here in Lafayette. Come on, man. Really?
Yeah, by the way, they talk about in the article the founders of Christian values, per se. Customers just might be so focused on the animal style. But listen, animal style burgers. You see what I'm saying? They hate you. You like animals.
My goodness now. Let me tell you something. That's a burger, brother.
Animal style burgers that they don't notice the reference to Bible quotes printed on the wrappers. You just touched upon it. And the other thing they say is that the founder, this was founded, by the way, in 1948, still family owned. It's just unbelievable. I think you did hit it on the head.
Yeah, they do have locations in Texas, by the way, but it's in the Fort Worth area and then San Antonio up north.
I'm gonna tell you what, if it didn't cost so much, Brandon, I would get me a waiter to bring me one of these suckers from California.
let me tell you something. My sister lives in Oklahoma, and every time I drive up to see my sister in Oklahoma, I plan my trip to stop in Denton, Texas, at the In-N-Out Burger. That's how good their burgers are.
Well, I'll tell you what, dude. If I'm ever
one time, you will drive miles for an In-N-Out burger.
Well, if I ever get a chance to support In-N-Out Burger with their animal-style burgers in their cult-like way, this is what the media does. This is what the press call a cult, believing in Christ. You're not a cult if you believe in Satan. Yeah, you're not a cult if you believe in Satan. You're not a cult if you do crazy things like, oh, I feel like a woman today. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going in the woman's bathroom.
Right.
That's not a cult. That's nothing to do. See, it's unbelievable. Anyway, thank you. You've been very, very informative, Steve. God bless you, and I do appreciate it.
God bless y'all. Y'all have a great day, gentlemen. Thank you.
God, Brandon, how you like that? They put a Bible verse on, all of a sudden it's hell. What would they rather put? Satan verses? The book of Satan verses? Would you rather put blood roll? I mean, what do they want? You can't be free anymore in this country? Hey, I hate to tell you, Democrats are pushing this down our throats. Republicans won't fight it, but Democrats are pushing it down our throat. Hey, think about it, Brandon. You got a great business going, been around for years doing things. You're a Christian, so you want to represent that. You put a Bible quote. I can promise you there's not one Bible quote that's going to hurt one person. Matter of fact, if they'd read it, it might help. It's not going to hurt. Unbelievable. Let's go to Steve in Pineville. How you doing, Steve? Welcome to the Moon Griffon Show.
Well, Moon, I want to tell everybody about something that I've been reading about. It's something that remember Tim Geithner?
Yeah.
Tim Geithner, he was a Federal Reserve guy from New York. Well, anyway, if there was a giant hurricane out in the Gulf, would you think people would want to know about it?
Yeah, it might not hurt.
Well, the thing is, see, there's a storm coming, and there's not one thing that anyone alive, one person dead alive to cause it, and there's nothing that anyone can do to stop it. And that is every 80 to 100 years, the world goes through a debt cycle. Mm-hmm. And the last debt cycle ended in the fall of 29. It's been 88 years, and Tim Geithner was saying the other day, he says you got 1 to 5 years for this debt cycle to end, and that what scares him the most about this is the violence that's going to take place when it gets here.
Mm. Mm. Never heard of that.
You're going to lose your retirement. You're going to lose your retirement. I don't think you're going to get your retirement. You won't get most of your Social Security because we're going to go through a deleveraging, and when these debt cycles ends, it usually ends in depression.
Well, listen to me. I know this. You can't keep running up debt. A country that ought to be a lender nation, not a debted nation. And we got Republicans and Democrats that don't care about the debt and what's happening in the country financially. They don't. And we got a spending problem. We think that you can just give away to people. And the people that are going to be in the streets the most, in my opinion, are going to be the people who keep getting the freebies when the freebies run out. Now, I do agree. The people that lose everything will be upset as well because they felt like they worked for that all their lives. There's a lot of things can happen in our country in a bad way, though. I mean, it can. But you don't, when you're on a fiscal policy of spend every penny we get, every penny we think we can get, and every penny we should get, you're going to run into problems one day.
All right, have a good day.
All right, you too. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. I'll take a break. Be right back. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Words of wisdom, can't you see?
I got some words of wisdom for you.
Please be quiet.
We got somebody with a voice. Miss Janet's back for the joke of the day. Janet, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Janet came in here and said, well, I already did this one time. I said, we don't want no old, washed-up dang jokes. We need new stuff.
But it was funny.
Okay. Go ahead and shoot for us and being nice about that.
So this is how I learned to mind my own business. I was walking past the hospital the other day, and I heard all the patients shouting, 13, 13, 13. The fence was too high to see over, but I saw a little gap in the fence, so I looked through it to see what was going on. Some idiot poked me in the eye with a stick, and they all started shouting, 14, 14, 14.
That is pretty good, Janet. Even if I never heard it before, it's pretty good. That is. I lied. Thank you, Janet.
You're welcome.
Janet, joke of the week. That's pretty good.
We say joke of the month.
Yeah.
How lately you've been coming in here.
By the way, you people in Balkanville, when I'm in Monroe next week, I can come explain it to you.
All
right,
no.
844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Can you believe that? McCain's funeral, they don't invite Sarah Palin. I got to tell you, they have all the accolades on McCain. I have no problem with that. Loving on him. It's amazing the press loved him when he's picking on Bush. Hated him when he ran against the great Obama. Him and Trump got into it, so he hated Trump, so they love him again. I wonder if McCain, you think if McCain would have passed away during Obama's tenure, they would do this? Because back then, they didn't like him then, see? They didn't like him in 8 years of Obama. They loved him 8 years under Bush. And then they loved him when he slammed Trump. I just wonder if they would be making this big a deal about McCain. And I'm not saying anything good or bad. Politically, it didn't line up with him. And Sarah Palin should have been invited. Sarah Palin was the reason that he had any chance in that election, in my opinion. But she doesn't get invited. They keep, once again, Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver for the Cardinals, is speaking there. And Larry may have a good friend with Mr. McCain. So let me just go. But when I saw Fitzgerald speaking, I thought he wants somebody from the NFL because, Trump and the NFL and the kneeling became a big deal, and that's another signal. I may be wrong on that. Him and Fitzgerald may have been the best of friends. And if it was, great. But I got a feeling that I just wondered if some of that played in there. All right, let's go. Will in Monroe. How you doing, Will?
Just fine. I just wanted to clear up one thing on the terminology, Trump haters. That's incorrect. What needs to be said is America haters. He just happened to be a byproduct of trying to turn this country around. They're not really Trump haters. They're America haters.
I think there's a lot of merit in what you're saying. They really hate the culture of America. They hate the freedoms. They hate the freedoms that people are going to be the best they can be. We've already gotten rid of life question back years ago. We're killing babies. Now we got rid of the definition of a marriage. Exactly. We're now talking about men becoming women and women becoming men, and this being normal and normalizing things. And like the guy said earlier, we're flipping everything that's good and everything that's bad. We're making that the good thing now, and it's just not right. But you're right. This thing what the media is doing with Trump and the left's doing with Donald Trump is also a shot at you and me for supporting him. It's no doubt about it. They don't want anybody like that around anything. They want to be in charge of everything.
But I think we should change the terminology that we're using to America haters, and people might wake up a little bit rather than just hating Trump. The only reason they hate Trump is because he's trying to change America back to what it used to be.
Well, this is the problem. Nobody wants to go back to where it was racism. That's why they catch stuff like nobody wants to go back when women didn't vote. When we say go back, we want the family values that matter. Hard work. You don't get paid a check unless you go to freaking work. You go find your job, but that's not what we're doing. If you go look at, I'm going to say it again, illegitimacy, kids not having that mom and dad there, that has caused big, big problems in the country, and Democrats have taken advantage by showing up as daddy. Okay, showing up as daddy, shoving people in the inner cities and country places as well, and telling them, vote for us, we're going to help you, and they never do. And that's why people believe what they believe. So,
okay, thank you. Thanks for my call.
All right, well, got to go. Doc, you up next, 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. We'll be right back.